Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Mike Meiers. I'm a songwriter, producer, guitar teacher, and I'm super excited to be doing this exclusive video for Making Music magazine. Today, I want to talk about the number one thing most songwriting guitarists don't think about. All right, now when we sit down to write our songs, we're always told lyrics and melody matter. You know, there's always wars between which one is more important. And don't get me wrong, they're both important. But there's one thing that a lot of people just don't think about, and that's the voicing that we're going to use when writing the song. Now, I know you're like, what does voicing mean? To me, voicing is the vibe and the overall tone that we're going to set with the chords that we pick. There's tons of different chord shapes that we could choose from, and if we're not careful and we choose the wrong one, no matter how amazing our lyrics and melody are, they're going to feel like they just don't fit, and we walk away with this Frankenstein song that we're like, this isn't what we want. So how do we know which voicings to choose? Okay, so we have our guitar, so let's walk through some voicings and chord shapes. Now, the most basic one that a lot of people use are your open chords. So here's G, D, E minor, C, and if you're wondering what does an open chord mean, open chord means there's a lot of open strings ringing through there, so hence why they're called an open chord. So here was G, E minor, and C. But if I'm writing a rock song or something that's punk, G, D, E minor, C with these open chord shapes feel a little too nice, a little too pretty. So if I went straight for a power chord instead, certainly that feels a little bit more appropriate, it's a little bit more gritty, and a power chord is a very simplistic way to play a chord. It's just taking the root and the fifth right here, and those are the only two notes that we want to hear. Everything else is muted, unlike these ones that just feel so big and just so open and very, very nice. So we don't want that when we're writing something that has a little bit more of an edge or a little bit more grittiness to it. Root and thirds would be definitely a voicing that I would go for when it comes to pop. Now, root and thirds are taking the root and the third of the chord, and that's all we're playing. You would know these chords from, think of Blackbird. That's what's happening in that song. Now, what I like about these shapes and this voicing, it's very lighter. It's very vibey too, so when it comes to a pop song, I know when I'm writing with guitar, the guitar may not always be used in the final recording. So if I'm not leaning so heavily on the guitar, I want to create the vibe that maybe a synth would, something lighter that won't interfere with the vocals, that will just be as hooky, but when the vocals and the melody come into it, you're not distracted by my guitar. And to me, these sort of shapes, that's what I want right now. And to me, that's what sets apart this sort of voicing from a power chord or an open chord. Because if I sat down and I was like, hey, let's write a pop song, and we went, that doesn't feel right at all. But if I said, hey, let's write a pop song, and it's, that totally hits the mark. The capo. Now, this is something most of you are most likely using already. Now, this is a great tool that can help you play songs easier. We can keep those open chord shapes, but I like using the capo to get different flavors of chords. Now, let me show you what I mean. That first chord progression that we had, G, D, E minor, C. Here, again, it sounds pretty intense, in your face. It's pretty bulky, but if I take this capo and I'm going to throw it all the way up here onto the 7th fret. Now here's why. I know that this note is G, so I'm going to use a C shape to play G, which sounds way different. So this is G, but with a C shape, and here's G. Two different things. They feel like two different chords. So I'm going to use the C shape to play G, then I'm going to use a G shape to play D, an A minor shape to play E minor, and then right here, I'm going to use an F shape to play C. Immediately, my melodies are probably going to sound way different using these lighter voicings. Still open chords, but just another position to play a very common chord progression like. And And I know there's a lot of things that we could do, adding dynamics and different techniques, but to me, the foundation when we're writing our song is the voicing we need to give thought. So we went through open chords, power chords, roots and thirds, and then utilizing this tool, a capo, to get different voicing. So when you're writing your songs and you're thinking, what should I do? Lyrics, melody, start with the vibe. The voicing is going to set the tone and it'll help emphasize your lyrics and your melody way more. Hey, thanks for watching this. If you have more questions and you're wondering, there's so much more I feel like I need to know about guitar, I have a free ebook that you can download right now. If you just go to makeyoursongscurrent.com, I'm going to give you 3 easy steps that you can take right now to improve your guitar playing and make your songs way more current.